Hello there and welcome to the Introduction to Securing Networks with ASA Fundamentals, or the Cisco SNAF 642-524 exam. My name is Michael Shannon, and on behalf of the entire CBT Nuggets family, I want to welcome you to this Nugget series, and thank you for choosing CBT Nuggets as your training solution. In this first Get Acquainted Nugget, we're going to look at three primary objectives. First of all, we're going to go over the CCSP requirements as of January 2009. Then, we'll take a look at the 642-524 exam. And then finally, I'll give you an outline of this entire SNAF Nugget series as it maps to the objectives of the SNAF exam and the Cisco official curriculum. A little bit about myself. I've been working with Cisco technology since the mid-90s. I'm a Cisco certified instructor with the CCSI certification. I also have a CCNP and a CCSP. We'll also be working throughout this Nugget series on an actual PIX firewall and two different adaptive security appliances, a 5510 and a 5520. Well, I hope you're excited. I'm excited too. Let's take a look now at the CCSP requirements. Let's take a look at the requirements for the CCSP as of January 2009, and of course, depending upon when you're looking at this nugget, you want to go up to cisco.com and check out their website for the most recent information. Now, there are 4 exams that are mandatory or required for the CCSP certification, the Cisco Certified Security Professional. The first off is the SNRS, Securing Networks with Cisco Routers and Switches. The older version of that, the 642-503, that expires on January 18th, 2009. Chances are you're viewing this Nugget series at a date later than this, so you're looking for the 642-504 SNRS. We aren't concerned with the SNPA because chances are this one's been expired already. So we're looking at the SNAF. This is the one that we're in right now, the 642-524, Securing Networks with ASA Foundation. Then the 642-533 IPS, Implementing Cisco Intrusion Prevention Systems. Those 3 plus one more elective are the requirements for the CCSP. And you can see here several electives. You can go the Cisco Security NAC Appliance route, you can go the Cisco Mars route, or you can go the SNAA, which is basically the advanced version of information we're going to be covering in the SNAF. This is the foundations. SNAA is an advanced granular look at the adaptive security appliance and associated solutions. So 4 exams required for the CCSP. Let's take a look at specifically the SNAF exam, which is what you're here for. Obviously the number of this exam is 642-524, and this will allow you to get the partial requirements for the CCSP certification. It also gets you on your way to the ASA Specialist certification, and you can look for the prerequisites of that up at Cisco's website. The exam is going to be 60 questions, and you're going to have 90 minutes to answer those 60 questions, which will come in a variety of different formats. You'll have multiple choice single answer questions. You will have multiple choice multiple answer questions. You'll have drag and drop questions, fill in the blank, FITB. You'll have what's called a simlet, which will simulate, this should be an M, which will simulate the CLI environment or the ASDM environment, which typically has 3 or 4 questions built into it. And then you'll have full-blown simulations, which you'll have to walk step by step through the process of configuring either in the command line interface of the ASA iOS or the Adaptive Security Appliance SDM. Once you finish this Nugget series, I'm confident that you'll be ready to go out and, within a couple of weeks, pass the 642-524 exam. That's my primary goal for you. The secondary goal is to prepare you to be a firewall or a security appliance specialist in a real-world situation, in an on-the-job scenario. Now, of course, there's no substitute for real hands-on experience, and we're going to be in the command line interface and in the ASDM looking at a PIX firewall with the newest iOS, we're going to look at a 5510 ASA and a 5520 ASA. But you're going to want to go out there and get your hands on the actual hardware yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and recommend right now that you consider somewhere along the line going up to www.gigavelocity. And we have no association with Gigavelocity. This is not a commercial, but it's a company that I'm familiar with in the past, and I recommend for a very low price. You can go up there and rent time on, they have 4 or 5 full racks of Cisco equipment with some of the newest iOSs and get some hands-on experience with high-end routers and Cisco 5520s. So Gigavelocity, G-I-G-A, Gigavelocity, VELOCITY.com. Sometime as you're going through this series or after the series, go ahead and spend a few hours up there getting some hands-on experience. Now here's a list of the objectives for the SNAF exam, and we're going to cover all of these objectives and more throughout the course of about 20 nuggets in this SNAF Nugget series from CBT Nuggets. Now we're not going to cover these topics in this order. As a matter of fact, in the next nugget, we're going to look at features of the ASA and some basic technologies like defining firewalls, the 3 main firewall technologies, and the essentials of a security appliance. And after that, we'll look at the Cisco PICS and ASA product line. But we're going to look here at the objectives. Now, before I go through these, let me give you some recommendations. I'd like to see you go through this entire nugget series twice. One of the times that you go through, I would like you to take notes as you go. Maybe outline each nugget all along the way. And then the second time or the other time that you do this process, go ahead and just watch each nugget movie in a casual fashion. You can take the notes the first time through or take the outline the second time through, whatever you want to do. But I highly recommend that you go through this twice. The second time right before you're going in to take your SNAF exam. And as I mentioned, try to combine this with some hands-on experience from a site like Gigavelocity or others up there where you can actually rent time on a security appliance. Or if you can afford to purchase your own security appliance and build your own lab, that would be a great thing as well. I've got my own lab, and I'll show you some pictures of this along the way so you'll see what I'm working with. So in this nugget, we're going to configure security appliances for secure connectivity. We'll do this with the ASDM and the command line interface. We're going to configure and verify network address translation. We'll look at NAT exemption, and we'll identify NAT using the ASDM. We'll also look at access lists, and we'll use object grouping as well, which is a really great way to create more compact and efficient access lists. We're going to configure and verify routing and switching. Your ASA appliance is a router and a switch, so it does have some routing capabilities. It also supports VLANs as well as dynamic routing protocols. We'll also configure and verify AAA services. We'll configure the access control server to support your security appliance. I'll be using ACS for Windows version 4.0. We'll also look at configuring AAA features through the ASDM, the ASA SDM Security Device Manager. We'll also configure cut-through proxy, also known as authentication proxy. We'll also look at Layer 3 and Layer 4 protocol inspection, and we're going to use a subset of Cisco's quality of service policy language called Modular Policy Framework, going beyond just access control lists to get Layer 3 and Layer 4 protocol inspection. We'll do it through the CLI and the ASDM, and we'll use the ASDM to configure and verify threat detection. We'll also use virtual private networks, VPNs, so we'll configure VPNs with the ASDM as well. We'll look at pre-shared keys and clientless SSL VPN, or as it's also referred to, web VPN. We'll look at active standby and active failover features on the appliance through the ASDM. We'll configure transparent firewall and virtual firewall features, excellent features that we'll talk about here in this upcoming nugget. And then finally, monitoring and managing your installed security appliances, both through the CLI and the ASDM, involving things like licensing, access to the console and secure shell or telnet, and utilizing logging through the ASDM. All right, sound good? I bet you're just chomping at the bit to get into this. So let's go ahead and take a look at our next nugget now. This is the ASA features and technology. I hope this CBT nugget's been informative for you. I want to thank you for viewing. We'll see you in the next nugget.